Stranger by the Shore is an anime movie made in 2020. It is by a studio I've never heard of and based on a manga that I've never read, and yet I really liked it. The story is about two young men named Mio and Shun, who were separated after high school and reunite after some years. I think the biggest thing that I really liked about this movie was how refreshing the concept is. It often seems like in romance stories, the two characters getting together is the goal. But there's very few romances I've seen where the goal is just trying to make the relationship work. Another thing I really liked about this movie was they're both adults. Now, it may sound strange to praise the movie for this, but from what I've seen, the majority of these stories usually take place in high school, especially in anime. I remember when the movie first started and I saw they were both still in high school, I was like, please don't let the entire movie be like this. But it turns out for the rest of the movie, they're grown adults, which again is just really refreshing. As I've become older, it's become increasingly harder to get invested in, high school romance. The whole thing just feels more realistic. Like instead of having two classmates in a will they, won't they situation, these two are already in a relationship by the 10-minute mark. And the whole rest of the movie is just them working things out so they can both be the best partner they can be for each other. Another thing, elephant in the room, this movie is about two gay men. And again, Stranger by the Shore goes against typical conventions for this kind of story. Number one, it doesn't just feel like porn for women. Again, I don't want to call this yaoi because it genuinely doesn't feel like that kind of movie. As well, this might be the first movie I've seen that treats a homosexual male relationship as normal. There are points in the movie where the two main characters' relationship is not accepted by others, but it's not the main point of the movie. It feels like Mio and Shun live in the modern day, in a generation that can kind of look past their prejudice. They don't have to hide it, they don't have to keep it secret. These men both openly love each other. I had all these expectations going into this movie, like half the movie was going to be like, you can't love guys, what's wrong with you? And then the other half of the movie was going to be like, oh, but we'll get married in the end, in high school and all that. And this movie just completely dashed all of that. Another positive is the animation. Pretty much every scene in this movie is beautifully animated. And I might be a little bit biased, but I just love the ocean setting of Okinawa. I really enjoyed seeing the change of weather that the movie goes through. And as well, it has all that delicious looking anime food that everybody likes to gawk at. Whole thing's just really pretty to look at. The only downside I could see for this movie is its runtime. It's only about an hour. But honestly, I don't really mind it that much. This movie was produced and came out during the height of the coronavirus pandemic, so I wouldn't blame them why the movie is so short. But really, I think everything wraps up well. For me, the movie could have been 10 minutes and I would have still liked it. I'm not sure how true this is because I've never read the manga, but I've heard people say there's a lot from the manga that the movie left out, but with the runtime, you kind of have to expect that. In total, if this is something that you might like, I highly recommend to check it out. Stranger by the Shore is a beautiful, well-animated romance that I would not mind seeing a part 2 of.